guys, welcome back to the Pet It Life.
Hey guys.
So we're here at Eldora Speedway. This morning we're going to try and get in here and get you Scott Bloomquist Celebration of Life that they're doing the morning of the World 100.
It is morning.
So yeah, it's just after 9:30 this morning.
Got up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
I never get up before daylight.
But anyway, we're gonna try and get in here and get this for you, and hopefully it's a good ceremony, and try and get this uploaded for you guys. So stay tuned. After a while, you know, of course, we're here for the World 100, and yeah, hopefully everything goes pretty good.
Hey, it's Jada.
Hey, it's Jason.
And welcome to the Pet It Life.
This is Scott's car. They put a special wrap on it for this ceremony. Taken back to one of the first cars that he ran here and won in. Thought that was pretty neat.
My name is Mark Richards, and I've been a rival with Scott's for years. I'm a chassis builder, and I've been doing this a long time, and I've watched Scott for many years. So I first want to start off sharing my condolences to the Bloomquist family, Ariel, Georgie, Ron, Shelley, and all the Bloomquist fans and friends that have gathered here today. I was very saddened and shocked to hear the tragic passing of Scott. I first thought maybe it wasn't true. Unfortunately, it was. I first saw Scott in 1984 at Kingsport Speedway. I heard that there was this California hippie surfer kid who was going to race with us. And back in those days, I was a crew chief for Rodney Combs. It wasn't long after that first day we started hearing a lot of Scott through Eastern Tennessee. The first time he came to Eldora in 1988, I was here, witnessed him win the first World 100. I was here when he won the World 100 in 1991 with one hand. Literally, he drove with one hand. I was here the night that he had to stop to take the window out of the left side, went to the tail, and came back and passed everybody. It was truly amazing, unbelievable, whatever you want to say. That's who Scott was. Scott made a lot of memories for fans that came to Eldora for many years, over 3.5 decades. And people raised their kids here, watching Scott win. Those kids grew up to be Scott Bloomquist fans. Looking at this crowd today, I'm pretty sure that's true. Some people came to see Scott lose. Some people came to see Scott win. But the big thing with Scott was people came. He definitely was the Dale Earnhardt of dirt late model racing. There's no doubt about that. Scott was one of the most respectable racers on the racetrack. I can say all the years that my cars that I crew chiefed or built cars or owned cars, we had hardly any incidents with Scott. And I don't know many racers that did, because that's the way Scott was. He wasn't out there to run over somebody, slide somebody dirty to win the race. He set the bar in many areas. Apparel sales. Scott created an image in himself that separated him from other drivers in the apparel business. There's no doubt that he was the leader in apparel sales long before where we're at today. He told me one time, he said, if I can have 50% of the crowd as my fans, everybody else can have the other 50%. He set the bar for competitors. He made us all work harder. I respect him for that, because it made me work harder. In 2003, Scott and I came together and helped regenerate the World of Outlaw late model series. We spent a lot of time on the telephone during that time. I got to know Scott really well during that time. And what he wanted was this sport to be bigger. And I think we did make it bigger by creating the World of Outlaws. We ended up with 2 national series. We have 2 national champions every year. And it brings together a race like this with the best in the country. We were rivals for many years. Over the past few years, Scott and I talked frequently, sometimes for hours. I have a lot of respect for Scott. I had a lot of respect for Scott, and I think that was mutual. I'm really glad we had them conversations. Last year, Scott invited me to his shop for the first time because we were a competitor and he didn't want nobody to see what he was doing. That visit gave me a whole new respect for Scott, because what I seen there that day was he did things his way. I got a glimpse of how he did it. And I can say it was one of my more memorial experiences. All the wins, all the championships, all the crown jewels, makes it hard to argue that he wasn't one of the best ever, possibly the best ever will be. For me, it was a privilege to be able to see Scott throughout his racing career. I think all of us was privileged. I'll remember Scott as someone that I had great respect for and someone who made me work harder to succeed. Heroes come and go. Legends are forever. Scott is now a legend in God's hands. Thank you.
My name's Del McDowell. I've raced with Scott for many, many years, my brother and I. You know, it's just, it's a good thing I didn't make notes, because Mark and I didn't talk about our notes, but that was exactly what I would have put in my notes. So I can only hear Scott up here if I had notes, if he were doing this for me, is he'd say, throw those things away and just tell it like it is. You know, that's what who he was. So I'm gonna wing it. You know, and it's like I said, we've raced together for, oh my gosh, since the mid-'80s. I posted a picture earlier, he and I, it was 36 years ago. So when he came in to the picture there in Tennessee, I was racing out of North Georgia, but we raced right there at the same racetracks that I did. And he just cut his teeth at Atomic and Kingsport and Bulls Gap and those places like that, and just, you started, back then we didn't have internet, but we had racing papers. Some of you guys will remember that. We had racing papers every 2 weeks, and you could not open a racing paper without, or receive a racing paper without his picture on the front. You know, and that was every week. So throughout that, he reached a lot of racers. You know, he's, like Mark said, he set the bar so high that he made us want, if you wanted to be part of the best, you had to go and race for the best. So that leads me to the first time I was ever here at Eldora. A kid racing around home, Cleveland, you know, North Georgia area, Cleveland and North Georgia, and the tracks Atomic and Smoky Mountain and those places that we raced together. He would come up to me and he'd tell me, he's like, Dale, you gotta branch out, you gotta go further, you know, you need to get out some of these other racetracks, you know. And we were blessed with a lot of racetracks in our area, and we could go race weekly. And but he kept on and kept on and kept on. So in 1994, he brought a kid up here to drive his car 30 years ago with me. So I know you guys probably don't remember that, but when I got that call, you know, to do that, it was, even though it didn't turn out well, and I crashed, and he gave me a hard time for a long time. Crashed his favorite car. We got here, and I, you know, I drew an early number, and back in the day, we didn't have all these prelims. So you came here on Thursday and teched, and then you came on Friday and you had 2 qualifying laps, and then Saturday you did all the heats. So I went out and I drew an early number, and I out-qualified him. He drew late, but they had the invert, and then I ended up getting a crash off of turn 2, and so it didn't turn out for me. And what that did do for me, what that did do for me was it opened my eyes to know what he was telling me to be true. So, to share the sentiments Mark said, as many young people as he's reached inadvertently, not even knowing that he's reached these racers, the girls, the little girls that's go-kart racing, and the little boys that's go-kart racing and starting out racing, you know, Scott was their idol. I mean, all of us racers can, you may not want to show weakness, but there's not a racer, a car manufacturer, anything in this pit area today, or that we go compete against that hasn't envied Scott Bloomquist. So much talent, so much talent. You know, my brother Shane, our shop is on the Bloomquist property, and so actually Shane and Sarah are really close. They've grown close to the family. I'm not there very much, but Scott and I go back, so all of our phone calls, you know, are to the point and thorough, and we have had fun over the years, don't get me wrong, but he puts so much thought into everything, you know, and as they have done with the cars and stuff, they're working on the cars since we've been there. But all the people that he's reached inadvertently is, you know, you look around and all of us being envious of it, it has built this sport. It has brought sponsors in that would support guys that can go race against him. It's done so many different things, in my opinion, that he's built a sport. And then once the internet happened, you know, then it blew up even more. But I got a quick story. It's a funny story. We were at Eldora Speedway in the mid-90s, and we was Barry Wright. The driver was Barry Wright, and I had Barry Wright car, so we were teammates, sort of teammates there. But anyway, we go down to North Georgia. It's my home turf, and so I out-qualified him. But I didn't have decals on my car, and I just had plain side. Shay and I got in a hurry. We just had duct tape numbers on, you know. And he came over and he said, "Hey, how much are a set of decals?" And I was like, "What?" You know, I said, "We was late." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because, dadgummit, when I outrun you in a little while, I want everybody to think that I outrun somebody. I need them to know who you are." So through this, that night, guess what he did? He kicked my tail. You know, I ran second, he kicked my tail. But I had a little revenge. So later that year, we went to Dixie Speedway, and I was able to pass him in one of the shootouts late in the race. And I came over. I mean, I beelined. I wanted to beeline to him, you know. He ran second, and I walked up in his truck, and I said, "Hey, don't worry about those decals. I had them." He said a few choice words, you know. He said, "And by the way, don't get used to it." And he lived up to me not getting used to it, because he kicked our tails a lot throughout the years. But, you know, it's just so many things that he did for our sport, organizing, he and Mark, and I was a part of it, the Dirty Dozen. He had so many visions, you know, and when you talk to him, it was a different conversation, because he would go deeply into the conversation, you know, so much as you would see and read, you know, and that brings me to a point. That had to come from somewhere, you know, his ingenuity, everything had to come from somewhere. And that come from his dad, Ron. When a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to see what Ron does, and he's a genius. And everything that he does with he's taken all of his ingenuity and everything that he's done and applied it to planes and old cars. And so, you know, my brother's grown really close to him, and I've been down there a couple of times. And, you know, when you see that, you understand where Scott got that. Scott took the same thing and applied it 150% toward racing. You know, and so that's where it comes from. And if you've ever had a chance to watch some of the stuff that they've done on Dirt and see some of that stuff, it's completely amazing. And you know, last year when Mark came up there, and I know how anal Mark is and how anal my brother Shane McDowell is, and when they can walk away from Ron Shaw and say, "Wow," that is a compliment. So that's where it came from. You know, and with Georgie, you know, Scott didn't have a soft side to a lot. But when our mother, Shane and I's mother passed away in 2011, one of the first phone calls I got was Scott. And, you know, he showed it was important to us. And he told me that he couldn't imagine what was going through, and that he could imagine that losing his mother. And so she did so much for him to build behind every one of us. We've got support, you know, behind us somewhere, whether it be mother and father or sponsors, whatever, but a supportive family, you know, and so it's just tough. It's tough. I got to be honest with you. Since we found out, every time I get in that race car, there's a presence. I used to get in that race car and just think about what we were doing. There's a presence. It's like I'm sitting in something that Shane and he's worked on. You know, I've driven it and torn it up for him, but you know, I'm sitting in something that he put his heart and soul in, and he was all about winning. It was all about the race fans. And like Mark said, he liked to have half of them, and he didn't care, you know, as long as they were here. And he would talk. He knew how to get stuff stirred up, but that man knew how to back it up. And through his talent, I don't know if we'll ever see that. Working with him in the shops and stuff, I don't know if we'll ever see it. But all of his accomplishments and all the accolades that we have seen him go through, probably the best is his daughter Erin. Freshman year of college, and you know, with what she comes from, there's no doubt that she's going to go far in life. And we wish you happiness and success throughout your journey. And I'll close with that. And I want to thank all your race fans. This is unbelievable support. And thank you guys.
There was something that I was thinking about while I was speaking, and you know, I feel like Scott and I were friends there at the end, and I feel like that anybody that could fill this many people into a grandstand for something like this, I think he deserves this grandstand to be called the Scott Bloomquist Grandstand. At Eldora Speedway, forever. His name, I don't know, I'm not speaking on where he's at, I think he's here. But I'm pretty sure with the response, we can get that done. Thank you, guys.
And the staff of Eldora for letting me do this tribute to my father, and Ruby Lee and Lee Miller and Clarissa for everything they've done, and also Del McDowell Mark for speaking everything that they said. Well, I want to start out with, I was born March 1st, 06, and my father always told me that he was a mathematical genius, so I was his perfect 10 because 3 + 1 + 6 = 10. Anyways, August 16th is a day that I will never forget, but I'll always remember it in sadness. It's been 3 weeks and I don't think I still have accepted it, even with all of y'all here. It's been hard, but I can't help to think how much that I wish that he was here with us. John 14:1-4 says, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go and prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also." If only, God, you could feel the tears in the world you have left behind. A lot of tears have been shed and are still falling since you have left us. Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and be courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." God, you are a loss that we cannot replace. You are irreplaceable. A death ends a life, but not a relationship. All the love you created is still here. Just look around at all of us here. We are all here for one reason, and it is to honor you today and all of your accomplishments you have done. All the memories are still here with us. You live on in the hearts of everyone you have touched. Growing up, my life wasn't like all the other kids. It kind of felt like I was going on a vacation every day because I always would get on a bus and travel to all the tracks and sell t-shirts, and I would always be in Victory Lane with him. The track felt like home, especially with all the friends and family that we had made. Dad, you were a man that worked hard in your sport, craft, and job. To me, you were doing it for me. You were the biggest role model to be the best, for me to be the best at what I love in life. I never thought there was anything that you couldn't do. There are so many memories I could speak about, but some of my favorite ones are we would always go fishing, go-kart racing, and we would go out on the boat and he'd pull us on the tube, and we'd probably fly 15 feet off, but he would always come to my games and support me no matter what he had to do that day. But I'm really going to miss you when I graduate college and get married and walk down the aisle in the daddy-daughter dance, but I know you'll still be with me. God promised us that we will see our loved ones again one day. 1 Thessalonians 4:17 says, "Then we who are alive, who are left, will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, so we will always be with the Lord." As much as all of us needed our hero here today, heaven needed our hero more. And our Lord comforts me every day with the thought of getting to see you again. And Dad, I want to ask you to watch over me, and I will love you today, tomorrow, and forever. And I want to end with, I'm so thankful to see all of you guys here and all the bond that we share with dirt track racing and my father. I can't even tell you how thankful I am for all of y'all being here, and thank you for all the prayers. Thank you.
His house and his shop to do a tour, and I didn't know what to expect. I was excited. If I knew what that day was going to hold, I probably wouldn't have slept the week before, because you guys have all seen the Road Eldora videos. But what I want to say to the Bloomquist family, Mr. Ron, I talked to you for about 10 seconds that day, and I got Scott. I got him. The way he looked at you with reverie, and he talked about you a lot too, Georgie. But Ariel, he asked me if I had any kids, and I said no. He goes, man, it's the greatest gift I've ever had. I want you guys to know that. Eldora meant a lot to Scott Bloomquist, but far more than that, Scott Bloomquist meant so much to Eldora. With that in mind, we put together a video.
Dear Eldora, when I first met you, you were unlike anything I'd seen. I knew from the glance that you could be mean. I never imagined how special you would become to me. My first instinct was to run back to safety, but now I strive just to get more. I think it's safe to say you're my one true romance in racing. I've lived much of my life on the road, and I call Mooresburg, Tennessee home. However, they say home is where the heart is, and a place that you love to go. I always feel at home when I pull through your gates. Your aura is like no other. Inside you, I find peace. At first, you came off easy, but you put me through hell. You have blessed me with the highest of highs. You have burdened me with the lowest of lows. Nothing in my life has made me endure more emotion compared to you. levels of both heartbreak and joy I could never have dreamed up. Your judgments are harsh, but fair to all. No matter how many times you beat me down, no matter how many times I've conquered you, through our best times and through our worst, I have always looked forward to our next. The house that Earl built, and now Smoke runs the show, nothing will ever compare to you. That's one thing I know. Bernice, I think of you often, such a beautiful soul. I cherish the memories, some only you know. Once Earl told me he loved me, then he judged me to hell. But I'll always love Eldora, and I know everyone here wishes me well. The only Scott Bloomquist.
Your friend was up here earlier. Dale McDowell had a big hand in that, and Dale is going to be part of the procession as, we bring Scott back to the racetrack here at Eldora Speedway.
That's Scott's urn they're putting in the back of that SUV that Chad Weir's from Weir's Machine made for him.
If you knew Scott, a couple of years ago, a song came out that if you went to a shop, you were going to hear 1,000 times. And it was by one of his favorite bands, Shinedown, and it's called Planet Zero. We're going to play that song. If you're not already standing, please join us in standing, family and friends. As Scott Bloomquist, we honor his final laps around Eldora Speedway. Thank you.
So unfortunately, we did not play the music because of copyright situation and all that. Everybody understands that, I'm sure. But if you get a chance, look the song up and listen to it. It really fits Scott, and this was a good tribute to him. And yeah, we just thought it was fitting. So yeah, hope you enjoy watching Scott and his car take a couple laps, last laps around Eldora Speedway, a place that Scott truly loved, and they loved him back.
our family chaplains. Scott was a great friend, and Georgie and Ron, Ariel, the family. The day that he passed away, Georgie called me on the phone around 6 in the morning. I don't even know if the fire department was there. And she said, he's gone. Scott's gone. And she asked me just to make a little notice out on Facebook, which I did. But their family, you know, you see a side of Scott, you see a side of the racer. But sometimes you don't see all the person. And Scott was more than just a racer. He's an incredible dad. I always told him the best dads make the best daughters. And she's one of the best. His parents, as Dale alluded to, were incredible in raising Scott. And you know, they shoved him out. Ron would have sold the car, made money, but Scott convinced him out in California to let me race it a little bit. And he started making some money. But Ron was not always the guy that was down there working on the car. Scott did all that. And Ron was there to be there. And then a lot of you may not know, Georgia, she designed a lot of the different shirts and stuff and worked the trailer with the family. And that's where the collaboration between Georgie, Funeral Home, Gerald Newton from Arizona Sports, we got Chad Weirs involved. So what you saw out there, his urn, is probably one of the most unique ones you'll ever see. It started out with a 300-pound billet of aluminum, and they whittled that down to where Chad and his family and everybody worked together to do the design and worked it down to, it's 33 pounds and it's 40 inches long. And it depicts the side of his car and what over the years they came up with to be his overall look. And that's an amazing piece, and I'm sure you'll see some close-up pictures through all the videos and so forth. But just wanted to tell you a little bit about that. Also, Scott's looking down. You know, he had a pride part to him. He'd say it's a big crowd, but maybe it could have been bigger. You know, that's nice stuff. But man, what an amazing person. We had a lot of good times together. And I know each of you have your own relationship. We all breathe in our own way. If you got 10,000 people here, we got 10,000 different relationships with Scott. But just remember, he always believed in the vibration, the high vibration, middle vibration, and low vibration. And whatever you're out there, he's going to be vibrating through your car, vibrating through your house, vibrating through your life. You just look up and remember it's Scott. At this time, I'm going to charge up some special Scotland music up there in the tower. And as we do that, if you will remain seated, or if you want to stand while the family exit, you can stand. Let the family out, let this middle section get up to the top. And then if you guys all want to go out to the front plaza in front of the main gate, in front of the grandstands, some of the family will be out there to mingle with you. Thank you again, everybody. It's been an awesome day. Let's give everybody a round of applause.
These next few clips here are pictures that they put on a roll that were up here on the big screen at the Speedway before the ceremony began. Just thought you all might like to see some of these. Hope you enjoy it. Once again, just hope everybody enjoyed this. It's just something that I know that they broadcast it live on Flow and everything like that, but some people don't have Flow. So, you know, we just thought we would go ahead and try to record it so that as many people could see it and enjoy it as possible that can't make it to Eldora today and won't be able to make it to Volunteer Speedway next Friday. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy and appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one.
As always, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for our next big adventure. Like, share, and subscribe to get that content.